Here we go. Welcome to the Pompey Pod with Mike, Dan, and Tolly. And this evening, we're going to talk about Portsmouth's first victory of the season away at Lincoln City, which is good to get our first win and also first away win under our belt. So we'll talk about that. And we'll also look ahead to the Bristol City game, which comes up at the weekend. Where do they play? Ashton Gate, is it? Is it Ashton Gate still they play?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So if you're new to the Pompey Pod, that's the level of professionalism and knowledge that we have. So buckle in. We got lots more to come. But we'll start with the game at Sincil Bank. I know that one at the weekend where Portsmouth played at Lincoln City. Before we get into that, if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. And you're welcome to get involved with some comments. We will discuss some comments next week. Not this week, though. And we're going to go straight in with some highlights. So, but we started slowly, Dan, did we not?
We did, yeah. First few minutes, it was we were penned in, but they came out really quick. Thought it was going to be a long afternoon at first 5 minutes, but then let's just see what we got here.
Oh, Arthur.
See, this is what I was going to say. This guy here. I actually thought I was going to bring up, and I will do afterwards, something about him. So I'll wait for the highlights are finished.
What, the striker or our defender?
House. No. Just him in general, the player in general.
Okay.
But cool. I'll do that when the highlights are finished. Otherwise, we'll miss everything, won't we?
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Nice first touch from him, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And got away from shot, yeah. I think it shows the lack of pace there, the centre back.
Yeah, absolutely. But this was a lovely first touch, wasn't it, from Kamara?
Yeah, very, very reminiscent of the League One days. I think Kamara picking that ball up, cutting inside, laying a ball out to Paddy Lane, and really pleased for him to get his first goal, deflected or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
What
I liked about that is that.
Can you shut the door, mate, please? That's you. I'll put it all in there. Yeah. Carry on.
Just go back a little bit, Tolly.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right. What I liked about that is he's very direct, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Mind. Yeah, lucky with the deflection, but still he went for it.
And the free kick as well, that came from good play from Kamara again on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
Getting fouled. And again, another slight deflection, but it's a good hit, isn't it? Very, very easy, though. Yeah. I think it's very easy. The way they set up sort of left that big gap. Yes, they got a player there.
Keeper's positioning was strange, wasn't it?
Very strange, yeah. And then that killed off the game, really, didn't it? It was really good for us to get those two goals in such quick succession because we were struggling before that. This, I thought, when I first saw it, I thought, what? And then the more I see it, it's a penalty whether you agree with the rules or not. His arms are out. He doesn't look at the ball, but his arms are away from his body, so you can't complain, can you? And then fantastic Hackett-Fairchild scoring a goal against us, which we all knew would happen.
Yeah, of course. It was always going to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But what was good, I thought, at that point is that we didn't. This was a nice little interchange as well, wasn't it, with Kamara again. But we didn't panic, and we didn't, like we have done the last 2 weeks, just kind of collapse. We were solid for the last 10 minutes of the first half, weren't we? And took it back to them.
Yes, absolutely. And then second half, quite a few half chances. I can't remember any clear-cut chances other than the goal. Really comfortable second half, wasn't it? Really comfortable.
Absolutely.
Be very disappointed if I was a Lincoln fan. This is a good hit. Again, the first time I saw this, I thought it's a great finish, and then I think the goalie's a bit suspect again. It's not like it went right in the corner, is it? But
no, he's got some power behind it, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's got some power behind it, and he's been beaten by the power, but his positioning is poor. The goalkeeper, he's late to dive, I think, and his initial position was quite poor. But
comfortable second half. No, other than the where they hit the bar, which we might see in a second, which was just a half chance. Segecic should be burying that. I think it's a shame because that's sort of his on his left foot there. You'd expect him to smash that in, wouldn't you? But never mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the goal that would have taken us
he
into the
wasn't
playoffs.
expecting it either.
And then this.
I actually, at that point, I remember saying, okay, 3 minutes to go. We're 2 goals to the good. Now I can start to relax. And then literally within 30 seconds, this happened. And I thought, oh, God, you can never relax with Pompey, can you? You can never actually just sit back and try and enjoy a game, no matter how far ahead you are.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. So there's a few things, wasn't there? Obviously, we said about the slow start and the goalkeeper making that save, but what were you going to say about Howes?
Well, I was going to say that I was actually quite impressed with him. I thought the way he sort of put himself about, I thought, oh, this is a player. I haven't seen him. I didn't watch particularly a lot of League One last season, but I thought, if ever we don't have Bishop, he looked like a player that would come in and he looked like he had a lot of energy, didn't stop running, got stuck in. But then I started reading the comments of a lot of the Lincoln fans, and a lot of the Lincoln fans were saying he's not very good at all. So I think maybe there was a one-off.
Okay.
Because a lot of them were saying, he's no better than a League One player. But that shows football, doesn't it? Really, that we see one game and we think, oh, actually, he looks quite good. They see him all the time.
Yeah.
That was all it was.
If he had put that chance away, that's a completely different game, though, isn't it? Because they did have the better of those first 10 minutes, and we struggled. We struggled to physically to kind of keep up with them. Obviously, K-Mac, Steve McQueen's goal changed it a lot. Obviously, 2 goals in quick succession. Other than the goal, Tolly, what did you think of his all-round game? He played for 55 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, he's a star in the making, isn't he? I think, and I think if we can keep him for the rest of the season, then we'll be doing very, very well, especially with what looks like a bit of a timeout for Murphy again after he pulled up with his groin in the second half. What was he on the pitch for, like 19 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
I think if Murphy is out for an extended period, then Kavuma-McQueen is a very good replacement, isn't he, at the moment? Or looking like it anyway.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, you'd want to have a fit Murphy playing, because even in those 20 minutes, he looks as if he just worries defenders, doesn't he? Because you don't know whether he's going inside or out. But I'm with you. If it was last season, you'd be much more worried about the lack of depth. But what was good, I thought, in the game was that, like you say, we've got Kavuma-McQueen. I actually thought Kamara was very good in that game, really good. And even looking at those highlights there, most things that were good about Pompey's attacking play came through Kamara, didn't it? Or he was involved in some way. And so he's only going to get better as he gains more and more fitness and sharpness. And then I even thought, actually, Brooks Smith, when he came on, Timmy, when he came on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, again, looked sharp, looked confident for a young lad. So I'm less worried than I would have been 12 months ago, but it doesn't look good for Murphy, does it?
No, I did quite like when Murphy came on, though, and within the first 2 or 3 minutes that he came on, what was that, 3 nutmegs in a row or something that he did?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, calm down. Someone's just going to dive in a moment and break your legs. But
that right fullback did try to batter him at one stage, didn't he?
He looked, it's a shame because he looked on it, didn't he? He looked like he was ready to go, raring to go. Had a few good touches and a few good runs down the line, and then, unfortunately, just pulled up.
Yeah, absolutely. Segecic, what did you think of his sort of contribution compared to earlier in the season?
I think the first, again, I think like the last game, you could tell by the end of the game when he was put out onto the left wing, you could tell his legs had gone. He had nothing left. He gave everything, and I think for the first 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe the first half, I think he was really good. I think that free kick, and as we said earlier, for a little fella, the amount of power that he gets into that free kick without much of a run up, as far as I can remember, it's just, it's just immense. The amount of the amount of power that you can put into that ball. But we all know he's got that left foot. And like you say, maybe the keeper was a bit to blame to not to be in the right place. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of saving that, is there? He's just hit it with so much force.
Yeah.
And he got a bit of deflection, but to be honest, I don't think the deflection would have made much difference anyway if it wasn't.
No. I thought the goalkeeper's positioning was questionable because he's kind of stood almost in the centre of the goal, almost predicting it could go up and over the wall. And if it's going to go up and over the wall from that distance, it's not going to have the power on it. So that should give the goalkeeper plenty of time to get across and be fairly comfortable, you'd think. But I think it was completely the power that he got on it, and the fact that from that distance again, just to find that gap, it's quite easy to hit the wall from there, isn't it? Just to go smack it straight at the wall. So I thought he did well. Dan, what did you? Obviously, Marlon back midfield, started with Shane, then Adams came on, and what again was a nice thing I thought was that taking Shane off, we weren't taking him off for someone inferior, but Marlon Pack in particular made a huge difference, didn't he?
Yeah, really good decision, I think, to put him in, and I think he's, especially the last half of last season and the Lincoln game, shows just how much we miss. Shows how much of a quality player he is when he does come in, because it's just the way he just demands that ball, puts his foot on the ball, plays it easy, plays it short, plays it long. Just a quality player.
Yeah, and I think his height helps as well, doesn't it? When you've got someone who's that big and decent in the air, sat in front of your back four, I think it really added that extra kind of solidity to the back four. We're considering they'd had a bit of a shaky start, and obviously Regan Poole not being in the back four as well was interesting, I thought. On that note, what did you think?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, quite good from Mousinho to drop Adams, I think. That it shows a little bit of ruthlessness. He didn't have a good game against QPR. We all said that. And he hasn't had many bad games, but he didn't play very well against QPR. So to take him out, put Pack in, thought fair play to him. Got it right.
And this is the thing that we said similarly with kind of Bishop last season, the lack of competition. It makes you sharper. If you look at how Adams was when he came on, I thought he was excellent when he came on. He's getting around the pitch like he did last season, earlier in this, soon after he joined us. Obviously, he took his goal really, really well. Although, I think their defence kind of like almost willing him to have a shot, weren't they? And so he did, and it was good hit. What I was going to say is, what did you think of Arthur? Obviously, came in for Paul. Bit of a surprise one from our point of view. We weren't expecting it, but how did you feel his performance was, Tolly? If you want to kick that off.
Well, I think he was at fault for their one-on-one chance, wasn't he? Misjudged the bounce. Defender got in front of him. Yeah. Got the ball. And at that point, I think I was a little bit nervous. Because I don't think... it was a ball over the top, wasn't it? And it was just he just misjudged the bounce, and that's all really. Yeah. But it almost led to their first goal. And I think Schmidt obviously made a really nice save and kept us in the game there, because if that had gone 1-0 down, I think we'd probably be looking at a very different outcome. But apart from that, I think maybe a couple of misjudged places, misplaced passes. But I think he was pretty solid. I think he was one of the better players actually after that early error. Yeah,
he did look nervous for the first 10 minutes or so, didn't he? But like you say, I thought he settled quite well. And that was probably quite a tough test for him. So those two, you mentioned about Howes, but I can't remember the name of the other guy, the other big kind of almost like
Draper or something.
Draper, that's it, yeah. And he was a unit and a half, wasn't he? He there was one where he kind of effectively ran into Terry Devlin. And Devlin obviously can take a hit. But Devlin was you could see Devlin was a little bit shaken by it. They both went up for the header. And it was a foul, but and I think Draper got booked for it, which I thought was a harsh booking. But he just walloped Devlin. He was an absolute unit. So I imagine it was probably pretty tough playing against those two. But I thought like you say, I thought he grew into the game pretty well and looked decent in the end. I thought actually, I'd say the whole of the back four, I thought we actually looked much better. Yeah. Whether that's because of the quality of the opposition, I don't know, but yeah.
And he obviously had a hand in setting up the first goal as well, because it was his ball to Kamara that Kamara put out to Kavuma-McQueen. So yeah, he had a hand in that, and that was a great pass as well. It split the midfield right up to Kamara. Kamara was in a good position, so saw him.
The thing I liked about that goal was that ball into Kamara, but Kamara's first touch just took it in the direction. So often we've seen over the last couple of seasons that it's get the ball under control, and it's not a forward pass, is it? It's just get the ball under control and have a look around, and generally that ball has then gone either sideways or back. And then we've played it, and it gives the opposition time to get back and defend. Whereas Kamara's first touch just took it out of his feet, took it away from him into the space where he wanted to run. I thought that was excellent. But then the second part was he had the option of what you could say is the easier ball to Kavuma-McQueen, or a kind of bit more, if you like, a rock star ball through to Bishop. And I thought he was going to go for the one through to Bishop. He went for the sensible pass, basically, which ultimately led to the goal. I thought that's, again, just a good sign of him maturing as a player. That he didn't try and go for the superstar ball. He went for the simpler ball, which, like I say, he obviously saw that even if Kavuma-McQueen doesn't necessarily have a shot, he's in a better position to put the ball across for Bishop.
Yeah,
which I thought was very good.
Again, in the second half, when Kamara had the ball on the right hand side and passed it into Segecic in the box for that shot that he had that he didn't quite connect with properly. Again, just shows Kamara's, I don't know, maturity, is that the right word? Because he's not, we know what Segecic is like. He's a bit of a kind of rabbit in the headlights, isn't he? But Kamara, I think, is much more composed in those positions and sees those passes.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Kamara was excellent. I know Marlon Pack got man of the match. I think Kamara was a close second for me. I thought he was really good.
I will. Go on now.
No,
I was going to say. I was going to say again. A lot of grief for Bishop. What did you think of his performance, Dan? I thought. I personally thought he was better. I thought he got in some better positions. But what about you? What did you think?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because I think all the while he's not scoring, you're going to get flack. That's the problem, and that's the first thing I see every time I read the social media posts. It's Bishop didn't score, Bishop this, Bishop that. Yeah, like I say, it's difficult. It's difficult to keep. He did play better. He does a lot of work. It's not like he's walking around doing nothing. He does a lot of work, but he just needs goals, doesn't he? He just needs goals, and we've had, that's 5 goals we've scored this season. He hasn't scored any of them. And I think, well, now Murphy's back and gone again. That's not going to help him, because I think you can see with Murphy, his first instinct is always to try and get that cross in, which is what Bishop thrives on. So hopefully Kamara and McQueen can do that. But Murphy's got very good crossing ability. So yeah, it's difficult. I can see why people get frustrated, but I just think he just needs some goals, doesn't he? Just a big fat hat trick or something. That'd be nice.
Yeah. He had a couple of efforts, didn't he? One in the first half in particular where it was like a looping header. It came in from a corner. It was kind of quite a nice little header. Just didn't quite get enough on it to loop it over the goalkeeper, and it ended up being a fairly routine save for the keeper, didn't it? And then he had a little one, which was a half chance that we saw on those highlights, didn't we, in the second half? But yeah, it's one of those you almost want him to do a Chaplin where it just hits him, somewhere on the way through and goes in and he claims the goal, and that could change his season, couldn't it? But the longer it goes on, and the more Milovanovic starts to get fit, it's going to start crossing over that Milovanovic is going to play more than Bishop, isn't he? And especially unless Bishop does suddenly start scoring, you can't really argue with that, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought he had a good game. Yeah, I thought he had a good game, and he had, like you say, a couple of half chances. Just needs a goal, doesn't he? I just think there's some people who I looked at the comments on the official socials afterwards, and ultimately we've gone away, we've won the game, and after the first couple of games, I don't think many people would have maybe expected as comfortable a victory as we did, but there was still, I would say, of the comments I saw,
25% of them were still being negative about Bishop, and it's like, come on, let's just focus on what's the good things that have just happened, rather than, oh, did Bishop score? And then somebody else going, does he ever? And it's like, yeah, okay, that's brilliant. Let's focus on actually the good things that we've just talked about there with the Kavuma-McQueen, Kamara, Pack, etc., Adams, rather than it's almost like such a toxic bullying type situation now, isn't it? And I get it. You have the right to an opinion, but sometimes you just got to focus on the things that have actually happened rather than what's not happened.
Yeah. And I do wonder, when we were talking about it last week in terms of having Bishop as the captain, I do wonder whether now Pack's back and the armband is on Pack's arm, whether that releases a bit of pressure from Bishop as well, and maybe he'll feel a little less weight on his shoulders, maybe.
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? You would hope so. Okay, but we have got a win. We're off and running. There's some strange results around. Dan, you mentioned earlier about some strange results in the Premier League, but strange results in the Championship as well, isn't there? Yeah, the fact that Charlton have got 6 points, including an away win at West Ham. Millwall, you kind of not that surprised because they ended the last season pretty well, and they're flying already. The fact that Norwich have lost 2 out of 2, I think is a big surprise for me. I put them down as dark horses to go up. And Blackburn I put as kind of pretty much nailed on to go down, and they're unbeaten in 2 games, so and could have even had 6 points. So there's a lot of strange results around, some less so that you probably would predict, but we're off the mark. We've got 3 points. We now have to build on that. Bristol City up next. They've had an indifferent start. They're under a new manager. They've got a lot of new players in. 1 point out of 6. Obviously, we went there last year and got our arses handed us. And I think that was our worst performance by some distance last season at Bristol City. Because I know we had a few games. And what, sorry?
Season before was poor at Bristol City as well, wasn't
it? Yeah. It seems a tricky place to go for us at the moment, doesn't it? But how are you feeling going into that one now that we've got those 3 points at Lincoln?
I think it's a good test. I think it's a good test as to where we're at. I don't think we can get too carried away with the Lincoln without sounding too negative. I think the Lincoln win was a good one, but looking at Lincoln, we're basing this on 2 games, but they're going to be struggling. I think they didn't put us under particularly much pressure other than that first 5 or 10 minutes. Bristol City, so it's going to be a good test. Like we said, the last 2 seasons, it's been really poor when we've played them away. So if we can go there, get a draw or even a win, happy days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think, Tolly?
It's away, isn't it? Another away game.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I think it's that stage, isn't it, in the season at the moment where no one really knows what the other teams are like. Fresh season, fresh players, so it's all a little bit of a lottery, isn't it, until you get to about game 6 or 7 when that league has started to sort itself out a little bit. So anything can happen at the moment, as like you say, we've seen with Charlton and West Brom and whoever that have won 2 out of 2. So it's difficult to predict at the moment until we get a little bit more settled in.
Yeah, we'd take a point, I think, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think I'd say that pretty much about any away game at the moment. I know we've just taken 3 points from our first away game, but I think if we can go into away games this season and pick up more points than just going there and getting a point and then winning up, doing well at home, I think we should be in for a good season. I'm feeling more buoyed. I know we've got to caveat it with the fact that it is Lincoln, but there is also, you've got to factor in the fact that it's Lincoln's first home game in the Championship for 60 years. Their fans were well up for it. We survived that first 10-minute onslaught. We looked much better as a team. So I think there's a lot of positives from that performance, as well as obviously the 3 points.
Yep.
What would be quite nice is so far 4 goals per game in Pompey games this season. Entertainment value is high.
Yeah, happy with that.
And pretty much all those goals we've scored have been crackers as well.
Yeah, we got a real goal of the season going on already, haven't we?
Yeah, still a little bit worried about the lack of goals from inside the area, but they just can't be choosers, can they?
That'll come once Bishop and Milovanovic start maybe scoring, but we'll see. Which, on that note, so I saw a little poll the other day, maybe yesterday, saying which one's better, Devlin's or Adams? What would you vote for? I know which one I'd go for, but what about you guys?
I'd go Devlin's. I think Devlin's is much better.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if it was anonymised and you didn't know who the player was, then obviously Devlin's is the better. But knowing that was Ebou Adams, it kind of makes it a little bit better, doesn't it? Because everyone was going, "Oh, for God's sake, don't shoot!" He scored.
Yeah. No, I agree. Technically, the thing with Devlin's is it's kind of like it's almost like a dead ball, isn't it? And he's a little bit further out as well, about 30 to 35 yards out. And he's almost hitting a stationary ball, isn't he, and kind of placing it so well. Whereas Adams he's running at the time, isn't he? It's a little bit easier to hit a running ball when you're running onto it, isn't it? I think. But anyway, okay, so good. 3 points. We're off the mark.
I would like to know, and this is a question for everybody, you included, and everybody else that might be watching. I would like to know when the last time we scored directly from a free kick was, because I can't remember it.
That's a good point. Yeah, I genuinely was racking my brains when you put that out last night, and I can't think of one. Dan, can you think of one?
I should do.
I genuinely can't. I'm sure. I know for a fact there'll be people who regularly watch us who will come up with one. I know a few people are pretty good with their stats, so I don't want to mention any names because I don't want to put pressure on anybody in particular. But whilst Dan's having a little think about that, if you are watching and you can tell us, then please do pop it in the comments. When was the last goal we scored from a direct free kick? Directly from that, not like a little roll across and somebody else hits it. Straight from a direct free kick, hitting it stationary. Let us know in the comments. Let us know about anything else that we've talked about. What's your thoughts about Murphy's injury, Kamara's performance, Segecic, K-Mac, Bishop? Why not get involved in that? Marlon Pack's return, etc., etc. Please let us know. And while you're at it, why not tell us what you think the score will be at Bristol City? Dan, anything?
I've got a feeling it's Pack, but I just don't, because I know that when Pack first came back, he was on sort of free kick duty. And I know that he either went close a couple of times.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a good point. Here's a good
not
point.
In the championship.
But let us know. No, not since we've been up. Let us know in the comments. Anything else, gentlemen, that you would like to discuss?
Man of the match. Oh, go on.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course. Man of the match. I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah. Go on, Tolly. Beforehand, you got something you want to...
okay. Beforehand, I've got a moan, albeit a pedantic one, given the fact we won 3.
Okay, moan of the week. Moan of the week. Here you go, Tolly. It's your pedantic moan of the week. Hit it.
Under-hit passes. There was quite a few under-hit passes in that game, and it really started to annoy me after a while because I started noticing them. And the thing is, under-hit passes or passing it without enough pace into a player's feet rather than passing it in front of them. And this is something that we're guilty of, especially when we're playing out from defence to either wing. The passes tend to go to the man that's standing on the wing rather than in front of the man so you can run onto it. And I really noticed it at the weekend because it happened quite a few times, and it also happened in quite a few kind of good goal scoring opportunities where I think Segecic was guilty of one, Kamara I think was guilty of one, where the pass is just 2 yards too short, and it ends up breaking everything down. And I think a really good example of the opposite of that was the first goal when Arthur passed it into Kamara, fizzed it into Kamara's feet, and the whole reason that Kamara had that space to flick that ball out round the defender was because of the speed on that pass, right? The pace on that pass gave Kamara options to then pass it into midfield to himself effectively. Then he laid off to Kavuma-McQueen. And I don't know why I've noticed it, whether it's something that happens a lot, but I really noticed it last weekend. Just lots and lots of under-hit passes.
And that's quite a basic thing as well, isn't it? That's something I teach the 9-year-olds. if you're going to pass the ball to me, give it a bit of fizz, because a soft pass can get intercepted, or you're going to put somebody in trouble.
Yeah,
you're going to get caught on the pitch, on a dry pitch or a wet pitch. So yeah.
One of the good examples was I think it was in the second half over on the left hand side. I think it might have been Schmidt out to Shocknessy on the left hand side, and it was a shit pass. Shocknessy struggled and ended up lunging at his man, and I think, did he get booked for that? Like,
no, I don't think he did. I'm not sure he did.
He definitely gave away.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I know the one you mean.
And again, it's simple to eradicate that, right? Just pass the ball better.
Yeah. And like you said, like Dan says, that's a basic. That's one of the first things you do with kids at 5, 6, 7 years old is you just do passing drills over and over and over again. And it's just such a simple thing. You passing and control, because you want people to be able to control a ball, but to be able to do that, you don't pass it short. You need to know that they can control it. So you then, you're teaching how to pass, you're teaching them how to control. First touch, get out your feet, etc. Stuff like that. And it shouldn't be when you come to championship level, I don't think any professional level. Yes, you can understand the occasional misplaced pass, but like you're saying, Tolly, the volume of and the regularity that it happens is incredible. I think a good example is against QPR. There was a situation where Swanson had the ball, and he played a ball inside their fullback to Kavuma-McQueen, and it was perfect. It was perfectly weighted, and initially you look at it and you think, oh, he's overhit that, but he hasn't, because Kavuma-McQueen's got plenty of space to run into. If he hits it any lower, it's going to get. The defender's just going to cut it out, because it's not going to have the pace to get past the defender. So it's little things like that. We obviously we can do it with a professional football team, but the regularity that it happens badly is far too often. Okay, so that's your moan of the week. What's your moment of the week?
Mine.
Either or, but go.
It's got to be Segecic's free kick, hasn't it? Oh, actually, I've got another one. No, I've got another one, which is quite entertaining. I don't know if you've seen this, but Kavuma-McQueen trying to do the fist pumps at the end of the game.
Oh, that was shocking. When I felt for him. Second-hand embarrassment.
Poor
but
lad.
Even the players were laughing at him, weren't they?
Have you seen that, Mike? If you haven't seen it,
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it.
Whatever.
No.
So they obviously, all the players obviously push Kavuma-McQueen to the front to go and do his, fist bumps at the end.
Yeah.
He runs towards the crowd. He just goes like this, and the crowd just go yay, and then they bring him back and send him again and tell him how to do it properly. Quite entertaining.
You can see him telling him what to do as well, couldn't you? You can see him whispering in his ear, right? You got to go over there and you got to go like this. But he obviously didn't want to do it.
Bless him. He does it. He's off the pitch seems quite shy, doesn't he? But then on the pitch, he's got a bit of bite about him, I think. But fair play.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, man of the match. Who are we going with? Oh, sorry,
just
before we get man of the match.
I think that was a really nice touch from the other players actually when Kavuma-McQueen scored his goal, because you could tell that all the other players were genuinely chuffed for him.
Yeah.
Went round him, and I think that was a really nice touch. And I think that just shows that we've got a good team spirit, regardless of a 17-year-old loanee coming in from Chelsea. So anyway, sorry.
I think that's something that's been said about the squad. Ever since Mousinho's come in, though, isn't it? They've always said about how good it is as a unit, and even people who have left and kind of gone on elsewhere have said, I'll always remember those times because of the unit of lads that we had, whether it be Raggett or Paddy Lane or anyone like that. They all seem like good mates, which is good, which is what you need, really, isn't it? And also, what I thought was quite important there, I don't know he's the captain, but ultimately, Marlon Pack is old enough to be Kavuma-McQueen's dad, pretty much, isn't he? He's 35, he's 17, so he's 18 years older than him. And I think he was one of the first over there, just kind of like, oh no, it wasn't it? It was at the final whistle, he went up to the back of him and he was like going like this on the back of his head as if say, brilliant, really well done. And I think that's excellent. I think it's really, really good. Man of the match. I think it's between two. Obviously, Pat got it on the day at the ground. What do you think? Dan?
I'd go with Pack. He was my choice. I think just the way, just the quality, just the way he played the ball. I think he just makes a big difference in centre mid.
Charlie?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think just having that leadership, that quality, that stability in the middle just really helps. But I think Kamara also had a good game.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah. Okay, Marlon Pack takes it. Just the way he kind of knitted everything together, didn't he? He gave that almost that the assurances that players in front of him can go and kind of almost express themselves, because it's kind of like, don't worry about what's happening back here. I'll look after this. And what I noticed as well, which was quite interesting, is that he didn't go forward for any throws, for any of those potential long throws, as in he didn't go to take them. Do you know what I mean? There's no long throws in those, because we had quite a few in and around that area. Yeah. And there wasn't once where people weren't even looking for him. So that obviously been spoken about, that, okay, Marlon's going to sit in this position and we're not going to pull him out to take throws or anything like that. So that, I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's obviously a particular game plan. But yeah, it was excellent to have him back. My only slight concern, I don't want to end on negative, but my only slight concern is, can he do that every single weekend? So I think we still need that defensive midfielder that's going to come in, challenge Pack for that position. But if worst case scenario, if Pack's in there, I wouldn't be that concerned. I think him and Shane and him and Adams, I thought both made a good centre midfield partnership.
Yeah, I think it makes a difference when if you've got Pack there and you've got Shane and Adams around him. They're the legs, aren't they? They're going to run around. Yeah. So they'll do all that work for him. So yeah, that seems like a nice balance.
Yeah. And it was interesting actually to see Devlin go in the middle right at the end there as well, wasn't it? When Josh Knight came. So that's obviously something that's in the top of the, in the thinking in terms of, all right, if we've got a fullback, we can always stick Devlin in the middle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've always liked that flexibility around Devlin, haven't they? That he can do that if needed. And he only did it 5 minutes, but didn't do anything wrong, did he? I thought he had a pretty solid game all around, actually, Devlin. As did most, really, across the whole side. I don't think anyone. It's almost the opposite of the QPR game, isn't it? Where the QPR game, you'd say only one or two maybe were pushing for a 7 out of 10, and everyone else was 6 or 5 or whatever below. This game everyone was a sharp 7 out of 10 with one or two notable 8s or 9s above that. I thought it was a really good overall performance. Anyway, so Pompey are off the mark. 3-1 victory against Lincoln City. We got Bristol City coming up. We will be back next Monday to discuss that Bristol City game. In the meantime, we'll be live on Wednesday from 8 o'clock. So if you want to join us for that, we have a good little discussion around all things Pompey. Went on for an hour last week, so kind of a little bit longer than expected. But we're there for about half an hour, 45 minutes. If you want to get involved and give your opinions on Pompey, we'll discuss those as well. So that's Wednesday for the final whistle. For now, bye, Pompey.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.